Man, the motherfucking Keith Lee effect strikes again.
Oh man, so at the beginning of the year, former MMA fighter turned food critic Keith Lee announced that he was going to visit the Bay Area on his popular family food
He went
tour.
to the Bay
And
Area.
from
What is
that
that? Is that
moment,
San
Bay Area
Diego or
locals
San
started to give
Francisco?
out
I think it's San
instructions to their
Francisco,
people,
right?
and I knew that this trip was gonna be on some wild-ish. So check this out right here, man. Like this type of stuff I was saying, like homie put out this list saying, number one, I hope y'all don't embarrass us. Number two, don't bip him. He can
Don't
change somebody's
bip
life with
him?
one post. Number three, tag some good spots. Number four,
What is bip? What is bipping? Bipping is a slang for a specific type of car break-in that shatters vehicle windows with very little noise. Bipping. Oh. Yeah, why would you do that to somebody if you're trying to come through and show love to the city?
do not
Like, Keith Lee, one of his posts could really change, like, y'all whole shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, they just said that. They saying that right there. But you know what I mean. Fuck.
bip. Number five, he trying to show us love, y'all, so show him some love. So the homie had to put don't bip on that thing twice, and if you don't know what bip mean, that means robbing somebody's car type shit. And this was one of the funniest tweets, chick saying, do the people who bip use Twitter? How are we gonna get this message out? Everybody spread the word to all your little badass cousins. But Keith Lee came to the city and that led to tweets like this, with this person saying Keith Lee came to the Bay, didn't try not one taco spot or Asian spot called it Gotham City and left. Alright, LMAO. So if you're
Damn, that's
wondering what
crazy.
Keith Lee had to say, listen to him speak right here.
Unfortunately, the Bay Area stop on the Keith Lee and family food tour is officially over prematurely, and we're gonna get straight into it. Let's talk about it. There are a few reasons why, as a family, we decided to end the food tour short. But before I get to that, I truly want to say from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate every single bit of love. The people of the Bay were absolutely amazing, and I'll never forget the hospitality and the love that y'all showed me. Reason number one, I truly don't believe the Bay is a place for tourists right now, and that's what I was, a tourist. The people in the Bay are just focused on surviving. That's the business owners, the locals. The amount of tents and living structures and burnt up cars that we saw people living in was shocking to say the least. Before we went, people was comparing it to Gotham City. Now, I might not agree, but I understand where it's coming from. But I can't harp on it enough that the people are amazing. It's just an environment. And as an outsider, I wish the city would step in. I don't know if they have. I don't know if they've been trying. But just from the outside looking in, it don't seem like it was much city interference.
What
Reason number
part
two,
of the
and this is no
city is
particular
he
order.
in?
We went to a
Is
lot of
that like-
restaurants, popular restaurants. Not
Is that like all of San Francisco Bay Area? That's just how the whole Bay look like? God damn, calling it Gotham City. That man said, yeah, you know, the locals, they even compared it to something like Gotham City. What? That's crazy. I'm trying to figure out, like, what I'm thinking is he might have just went to one area within the city and was like, oh yeah, we're gonna have to call it short here. You know what I'm saying? That's like coming to Tampa and then going to Temple Terrace. Who does that? Why are you doing that? Like, where are you going to Temple Terrace to be the highlight of your food tour experience? You know what I mean?
not popular restaurants, mom and pop shops. And this is the first city where I have over 6 videos that I don't feel comfortable with posting because nothing about my experience was constructive and nothing that I said was constructive. I've always been
It look like it had mold on. You see the
big on
green? Hold on, Playboy. You see the fucking green tint right there? There's a green tint.
nothing
Shit
that I
look moldy.
said was constructive. I've always been big on honesty. I've always been big on transparency. But I've never been big on completely tearing down anybody. And I feel like those 6 videos only doing that. And I've always said, I'm absolutely blessed to do this. But it does take a lot of money. It does take a lot of resources to do. At the moment, everything comes out of pocket. So when we had that many restaurants that we couldn't do anything with, that was just another deciding factor. Number 3, and probably the most important, I had to go to the hospital because I had an allergic reaction to one of the meals I had. This restaurant in particular cooked a plethora of meats, including shellfish. My family specifically asked if they cooked it on the same grill. They said yes, but they would clean it. The second I ate it, I blew up like a balloon.
Is he allergic to shellfish? He might be allergic to shellfish if this is what, cause I'm thinking if you're not allergic to shellfish or anything, I don't really see how that would be such a big problem unless you're just a picky eater. In that case, you should really be trying to figure out what these places got going on before you just pop out and eat anywhere. Like you dead ass can't eat just anywhere because your ass is sensitive to food. How you gonna be a food critic and also be sensitive to food? You don't gotta eat everything, but I'm just saying.
I had to get some steroids and some allergy medicine and it cleared right up. But it was a health concern nonetheless, and that was another reason why we decided to go home. I also think the Bay wasn't the target audience for what it is that we do. 90% of restaurants that the locals said had great food was already booming. And the people from the Bay are a loyal community. So if your food is good, the line gonna be out the door already. And then again, we went to some of those restaurants and I wasn't a huge fan. And even if I did like all of the food at the busy spots, that's never been my MO to just go to busy spots. So those are the reasons why we decided to cut it short. But nonetheless, some amazing things did happen while we were there. Chef Greens was one of the restaurants that I went to, and he had a news segment the day after we left. God is amazing. Mama T's also joined that category with a news segment the day after we left. God is amazing. And one of the places that we went that I didn't get a chance to post was a highlight of our trip. The name of it was Luxurious Cuisines. The customer service is absolutely amazing. And the food...
So I'm thinking bro just only spent time in Oakland. Like he deadass was in Oakland only. Like first couple of days and was like, yeah, we gotta have to end this shit, call it short. There's no way that you was in all of Oakland and then the only thing you was running into is like soul food spots and all this other shit. Like, cause I was thinking of the first dude who had tweeted was like, you didn't try no Hispanic or Asian spots and you only went to black spots and shit, which is like, I mean, if that's your MO, cool, but you know what I'm saying? I think that would be like something you would want to point out. But he didn't. He went to the Bay Area, and there's plenty of Asians and Hispanics all throughout California. So it's like the fact he didn't even try no tacos, or maybe he did try tacos, but if he tried tacos, they were probably by like a fucking black person or some shit. Yeah, I'm calling it now. He went ahead and he only stayed in like Oakland or some shit and left.
Wasn't too far off of that. We went in as a family and we left for a $2,000 tip. So the trip itself wasn't all in vain. And again, I appreciate every single person that I met. I want to stress, it is not normal for us to go to restaurants, not like it, and not post it. Any other time we ran into the situation, I've always had some kind of constructiveness to say, this was just different. And again, I'm always going to be transparent. I'm always going to be honest. Thank you again to everybody.
He was really just fucking with the people.
To the next
like,
spot,
he was
so
fucking with
God
the people on a personal level out there. He didn't want to air
so the
nobody
reaction
shit
to
out.
that thing was crazy. This person says, hey, Keith Lee, how was Oakland?
I almost died.
Hell no.
Oh, so he
So
did.
this person shared the screenshot saying this right here, man. I'm really cutting the funk up, OMG. Why the fuck y'all try to kill that man, dog? The person says, I told y'all to bip him. These niggas tried to kill him. Why the funk debate almost killed Keith Lee? Who did it? Chef Smelly? Homie says, nigga, Keith Lee came to the Bay and got wings from a gentrifier burger joint, chicken tacos from a black man, and surprised by grease in a fried fish sandwich. No Mexican or Asian spots. How?
That's crazy. I called it right on the money, bruh. I called it right on the money. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's kind of like you kind of gotta do your own research still. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like everybody's looking at Keith Lee like he's just impervious to bias or anything, or like he's impervious to getting bad info. Like that man probably got some bad info. And, you know, people was hitting him up, sliding in the DMs like, oh, yeah, come to this spot or go to that spot and shit like that. So he over here going to all these spots and shit that probably had the most reach to him. And that's where he ended up going and shit like that. But you ain't even trying no motherfucking... Like, from what it looks like, he didn't try no Mexican or Asian spots. They said a gentrifier burger joint. White people made the wings. Chicken tacos from a black man. Like, I'm not saying that a black dude can't make no tacos. I love making tacos, you feel me? But you go into a city that's representative of, like, you know what I'm saying? You went to Oakland and got soul food, but then you also got chicken tacos from the same mix of people. Doesn't really make sense, you know what I'm saying? I would want to go to the Mexican people and go and try some tacos, because you know what I'm saying, I know they're gonna know how to do that shit right. They've been making tacos for fucking generations, my nigga, you know what I'm saying? Literally generations. Like, you go to the Mexicans for tacos, you go to the Asians for Asian food, you know what I'm saying? I get it if you want to say, oh, your shit's a fusion, you know what I'm saying? It's a fusion, okay, that's different, that's a whole nother game. But this don't seem like that. It seemed like y'all trying to come up with little like fusion shit, but still call your shit soul food, and you know what I'm saying, and be exclusively black and shit like that. Man, you gotta go to these spots and really get a whole variety of the food and shit like that, like from the people who know how to make it best. I feel like if your post, one single post from you can really change how people view a city, then I feel like it's your prerogative then. Like it's your responsibility to make sure that you are giving a well-balanced, like well-rounded review of all the cuisine in the city. Like you shouldn't just be going to black spots in every city that you go to and doing a food review on only black spots. And then every time the fucking service is like horrible or the city that you're in is horrible, then you're like making everything else look bad in return. Like you're not meaning to do it, of course, but that's what you're doing. Like so you got to be careful when you over here making sketchy ass moves like that, and then your food tour is short because you didn't feel safe, but you stayed in Oakland. Like what are we talking about right now? That's like, oh, I went to Illinois, you know what I'm saying, and I was in Chicago, and I didn't feel safe in Chicago, you know what I'm saying. I was in the south side of Chicago. I just wanted to try pizza, and I did not feel safe. So we had to, what did you think, my boy? Like, you thought you was just gonna go to the south side of Chicago, everything was gonna be chill, and you can get you a deep dish pizza with the sauce on top of the cheese and all that shit. No, like, bro, you gotta think. You can't just be running around in La La Land, you know what I'm saying, expecting every place that you go to be safe. Me personally, when I go and travel, I kind of want there to be a sense of real in this like place that I'm going to. I don't want the place to be like the most perfect. Like, I want to feel safe in the sense of like I can go here and I could chill. You know what I'm saying? It's not that nobody is going to do anything to me, but I know I know where and where not to be. I feel like Keith Lee went to, you know, the Bay Area to do his food tour, not knowing where and where not to be. He just like, oh yeah, we're in Oakland and the city looks just scary. You know, people are out here trying to survive every day. You know what I'm saying? This is not a tourist place. Well, duh, my nigga. Why are you in Oakland? Like, that's the point I'm trying to get to. Why are you in Oakland? Why did you stay only in Oakland and then you didn't try any other spots? And then you're like, oh, they didn't separate the meats. They didn't separate these. Like, black people don't separate the meats, my nigga. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? You're not in the right area. You know what I'm saying, for this type of expectations to be realistic. You know what I mean? Like, I would say, like, if you were in more of a well-developed city and there is a black-owned restaurant, they're most likely going to clean the grill, you know, and when they're switching the meats and shit like that, and make sure that the grill, or they're gonna have a separate grill altogether for shellfish versus, you know, red meats and chicken and shit like that. But you're in Oakland trying to find like 5-star dining and shit. Like, what is that, Keith Lee? Like, let's try and make sense with your locations on your food tour. Okay? Like, you can't just go anywhere and expect it to be like I don't know what you're expecting, but you need to like have some more realistic expectations when you're going to these cities. Actually do your due diligence and your research on the cities that you're going to, you know, before you go to them, you know?
Come on. Someone responds saying he got bad advice. Bay ain't do him wrong. That's on him.
Yeah,
Homie
that's what I'm
says
saying.
that man really called us dirty and broke and left. OMG. Keith Lee did some real ish by not posting those other locations he went to. That goes to show he really funked with the people out here. But where the funk did he go? And homie says Keith Lee a good dude, cause a motherfucker like me gonna let y'all know who almost killed me and letting their business go to hell. But this guy says, I fought with Keith Lee, but I think him cutting early reflects more on him than us. Sounds like bro bought into the doom loop narrative and psyched himself out, or was doing anything with not a lot of help. That's San Fran Burger Spot. Now I'm gonna let y'all hear from Keith Lee himself speak on the whole situation.
My statements about our experience in the Bay Area have been misconstrued, so let's talk about it. I got this mask on because my allergies are still flared up. Number one, we didn't leave because of violence. Not at one point did we feel threatened or scared. We didn't get ran out of nowhere. I gave a list of reasons of why we left early, and one of those reasons is because I said I don't believe the Bay is fit for tourists at the moment. And I said that specifically based on the spots that we had went to, and the areas that we were in. I don't think any of the spots that we personally went to were conducive of a 5 to 6 hour wait time, especially with people coming directly off the plane. And when I say people, I mean tourists. I don't think they were conducive of coming straight off the plane and going and waiting to these lines. As a tourist, I wouldn't wait outside 3 or 4 hours in any of those areas. Not to say people don't or people shouldn't. I just said my personal opinion, it didn't seem conducive. And I believe that message is synonymous with the locals, because before we went, a lot of people were stressing the conditions of the Bay at the moment. News articles, locals, people that I spoke to on a daily basis. Number 2, we went to a lot of cities. We didn't just go to Oakland and San Francisco. We went to 6 or 7 different cities. I didn't name those specific cities because there's only a few restaurants that were recommended from those cities. And if I named the specific city, people will be able to figure out what restaurant I went to and didn't enjoy the food, and they would go bully those specific restaurants, even off of just guessing. So I didn't want to put random restaurants at risk of being bullied and get negative reviews from people who've never been to that restaurant. But yeah, we went to other spots that wasn't Oakland, wasn't San Francisco. We went to the Bay. We went to trucks, we went to brick and mortars, we went to Michelin star restaurants. We went to a lot of places. And I personally wasn't a fan of a lot of places that we went to. And I said in the previous video, it was to a point where I wasn't constructive. Now, if I don't like the food, or if I don't like the customer service, or I don't like the experience, and I can still be constructive, I will be, and I've always been that. I've always been transparent with that. But this is the first time where I feel like I didn't have that, so I didn't do it. Number 3, I'm not a food influencer or a content creator. I'm Keith. A lot of people are implying that I don't do enough research, or I should have a food tour guide when I go to...
I don't want to hear it, nigga. I was actually trying to listen. I was actually listening to what this man was saying, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'll give it to you. You went to more cities than just Oakland and San Francisco. And okay, I'll give it to you. You feel me? But to sit there and say, like, oh, you know, I didn't want to say all the places that I went to because I didn't want people to guess where I went to based off of the cities that I went to. So that's why I didn't say all the places that I went to. But then to turn around and say, bro, you know damn well you're a food influencer, bro. You're riding this whole fucking wave and you got all this shit going on, bro. If this is not what you're on, bro, then you might as well just stop. What's the point of you, Keith Lee, posting online if you're not a food influencer, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, making content, making food reviews of different places and going out and showing them the food that what's the point? What did you even what you know what I'm saying? Because you like it, that's cool, but you realize at a certain point your influence is that's basically like what your influence is. Like, I feel like at a certain point, especially like I feel like at a certain point with like commentary, you know, you get to really discern whether or not to take what the speaker is saying into account or not. Like, some shit might just be agreeable, like, and some shit just might not. We might have different opinions on different topics and shit like that, or we might agree on different topics. But when it comes to like food and shit like that, and you're going out and buying food and showing people the food that was prepared for you and shit like that, you're quite literally influencing them and doing marketing and doing all of this shit. Like, it's more than just like, oh, I'm just hosting food, I'm just a foodie. You know what I mean? If you were just a foodie, bro, you just take pictures, eat the food, and say where, you know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be giving no type of review, no type of nothing. You just look at the food I got, ate the food, and that'll be it. But no, you're reviewing the food. You're doing all the shit that a content creator does. You have a giant influence, so you can't sit there and not say like, oh, I'm not a food influencer, I don't know, bro. No. If that was the case, then you would have just said, oh yeah, I went to this city, you know what I'm saying? We tried all this different food. You're sitting here and you're making a whole video about what your experience was, and you got a whole food tour going on. But at the same time, you're not a food influencer. Bro, we gotta make sense, you know what I mean? We have to make sense. So now I'm less likely to believe that you actually did hit any other cities. You know what I'm saying? Did you actually hit any other cities? Because if you did, then I don't see the point in trying to say, like, if you're not a food influencer, what's the harm in just sharing the cities? Is it because you have a massive influence or not? Like, come on, bro.
To these cities. I'm a normal person, and our food tour has been guided for normal people. It hasn't been guided for people who can reach out to the #1 food influencer of each city, or a celebrity in each city that could be a personal tour guide for them. I want you, my mom, my family, and whoever else don't got 15 million followers to have a good experience in these places.
Why Keith Lee said what he said.
Y'all really want to know what Keith Lee saw when he came to Oakland?
Oh shit. What the fuck? I thought I was just looking at graffiti and shit, but no, this is a whole encampment. God dang. That right there goes part into like what I was talking about with the whole fucking know where you're going. There's been multiple videos on like the conditions of San Francisco and surrounding areas, and you still went to like all these areas and are still trying to like try food and shit like that. You should have already known what you were getting into and documented everything that you were seeing, you know what I mean? You got people like Pootie, you got Tommy G. All these people spent actual time in these cities and are documenting the shit that they saw in the cities, and maybe even still trying food. Like that nigga Pootie was trying food out in San Francisco and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? There's still fire places out there to eat, you know what I mean? And people are still going to be going to the city, going to different cities within California and all these different states, whether or not like you end up getting an allergic reaction to the food there, or whether the state of the city is, can they accept tourists? They're gonna be coming regardless. So I feel like at the end of the day, regardless of, you know, who he is, he should have just basically kept it $1.50. He should have just told him what was going on in the city and shit like that, and the places that he tried and shit like that. And regarding his allergic reaction, he could have kept that on a hush hush, you know what I'm saying? Because obviously he still don't want people to be bullied and shit like that, or their businesses to be affected and whatnot. But that don't mean you can't give actual reviews on other places. Whenever you watch like a food review video, these people kind of plan these things out, and he wants to kind of keep a sense of realness within, you know, his brand and shit like that. Like he's a regular person, cool, sure, and you wanna provide a video showing what, you know, a real person's service might look like at these restaurants and shit like that. And so if he plans to really go on to, you know, TV shows and have his own like show and it to be formatted in a way, I feel like he's going to eventually have to abandon that ideology of like, you know, trying to show just regular human service. Because at the end of the day, bro, like you're not actually getting regular service at every spot that you go to. I mean, you announce a food tour in any area and people are going to be lining up trying to get your attention to come through to their spots and shit like that. So I think he's well beyond just being like regular a food review guy, you know, devoid of any type of status or shit like that. Like he's past that. It's time to go ahead and use your status to provide the quality of food, you know what I'm saying, and to determine whether or not you feel like you would have received better service because of who you are, or if that was just their regular service, you know what I mean? You got people like Gordon Ramsay. People fucking close down their whole restaurant so Gordon Ramsay can come through and taste some of their stuff. And he orders shit off the menu and they come cook it fresh, and that shit be nasty as fuck anyway. So some shit nasty as fuck, like you should be able to say that the shit is nasty, bro. You can't save all of the restaurants just because the people are nice. Well, maybe they need to cook better food. It's okay. It's okay to tell people, like, you know what I'm saying, something's wrong with that recipe. You know what I'm saying? Something ain't right with that. I don't like the taste of that. Now, I feel like where he might get in trouble is where if it's like something foreign and he might not like the taste of it, but he doesn't know how to convey that without feeling like saying he doesn't like the taste of it means that other people aren't going to want to fuck with their business no more because Keith Lee doesn't like the taste of it. Some people are not going to like the taste of it either, you know what I'm saying? So they might, not everybody likes fufu and egusi soup, you know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody likes that.
So my quick thoughts on the situation, man. I believe it's only so long that he's going to be able to continue his normal and organic operation. For a more efficient business model, there's going to have to be some tweaks, or he leaves himself vulnerable to more wasted trips in the future. Despite all the salacious banter, he really saved a lot of folks' business with his platform, and we gotta keep this man on the road just because of that alone, man.
Nah, I do agree. Like he does great work. That man does great work when he's actually showing a city that has things to show. You know what I'm saying? Why are you going to Oakland trying to review food? Why are you going to San Francisco where the hobos are literally like defecating on the sidewalks? Why are you there? You know what I mean? Like, that's what I mean. Like, did you not do any research? Why are you in Flint, Michigan trying to find the best, like, anything, my nigga? Like, what are you doing? No offense to anybody who live in Flint, Michigan, but, you know what I'm saying? Niggas ain't have water. You know, like, the water was yellow. Shit crazy, bro. You feel me? Like, so, yeah, this man really gonna have to do a lot more research. His business model definitely is going to have to change. You know what I mean? Because you are not just a regular Joe Schmo no more, Keith. You are a food influencer. You are all of the things that you try to say you aren't, bro. And the quicker you realize that, the more resources you'll realize that you have. Anyways, I've been ranting for a minute. We're not gonna finish this video. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section, and we're gonna go and hit the outro. Good. Appreciate you watching the video. Pick one of these. Or subscribe, leave a like and comment down. You know what I'm saying? All that stuff would be appreciated. Do it if you want to. I mean, you ain't have to. You don't even have to sit here and this is really the outro, so you don't even have to really like sit here and watch me still, or you know what I'm saying, listen to me talk. Just click one of the videos or subscribe or something. Leave a like, leave a comment. Appreciate you viewing. Catch you later.
We smoking ganja, hidden in the